Hey, welcome to my booth. I'm Jay, and this is Mateus looking for some subscriber feedback. So happy Thursday, y'all. Happy June. Let's talk about audiobooks and how we can improve upon them, because Mateus here is booking a fair amount and wants to know what they can do better to book more and do better and all that jazz. If you'd like to submit audio just like this for review, there's a form in the description. It's free. You can do it anytime you want. If you want to jump the queue like Mateus here, you can join the Booth Buddies. You get kicked to the top of the wait list, and you can submit more than once if you wish. Otherwise, there's coaching on my website, and you can just hang out and soak up the sun from other folks doing talented and fun stuff. Let's go.
Unable to contain the anger welling within him, Caleb leaped forward, reaching Benjamin in less than 5 steps. Bringing his fist squarely into the center of Benjamin's face, the distinctive sound of broken bone was the first that seemed to break the silence. The savageness of the blow propelled his enemy backward over the pew. With women screaming and blood streaming from Benjamin's face, Caleb began pounding Benjamin's head into the solid oak floorboards.
Okay, great start. And this is something that's actually been coming up frequently in discussions, in some of my coaching sessions lately. But what you're doing really, really well here is scenes in audiobooks where there's action or tension or urgency behind the thing. There's an impulse, right, to feel like you need to have it be fast. If it's a fight scene, we want to make it move like as fast as a fight scene. We want the punches to be thrown really quickly. We want the urgency to be going, so it's got to be louder, and then we got to keep moving like that. That's not the case. And what you're doing really, really well is moving at a pace that presents the images, and it's almost like a bit of a slow-mo sequence, if you want to phrase it that way. So you're not pacing things up, and you're delivering it very deliberately, and it still has a tone of urgency to it, which I really, really appreciate. That said, I do still think that you can slow down a smidge with some of the images. One of them,
with women screaming and blood streaming.
With women screaming and blood streaming. Those are 2 separate images for us to clock. This is just an example, but generally I think you can slow down a little bit more in the delivery of things. Or maybe not slow down, but just pull things apart a little bit more. So in that instance, right now it's sounding like with women screaming and blood streaming. Part of it's because screaming and streaming are so similar of words, which is by design, I would imagine. But if we pull those images apart and introduce them to the listener as discrete images, with women screaming and blood streaming from his face, or whatever it was, then we get both images. Right now, they're kind of colliding together into a single image. And I think that holds for this full thing. Let the images land. You're already using them quite well, but you could perhaps use the verbs a little bit more intentionally. Let's keep listening to the rest of the sample, and then we'll dig in even more.
Moments later, a gunshot roared from the back of the church. Standing in the center of the church's balcony, with Bible in one hand and revolver pointed toward the heavens, was Caleb's grandfather. If it were not for the revolver, the ethereal image could have been mistaken as the second coming. "Caleb! That will be quite enough," bellowed his grandfather.
Okay, great. This image is great as well.
Moments later, a gunshot roared from the back of the church.
The thing that I appreciate is in this last bit here, there's a little bit of suspense happening where you present it.
With Bible in one hand and revolver pointed toward the heavens was Caleb's grandfather.
That little pause there does a lot for you. With Bible in one hand and revolver in the other, was it the grandfather? And it's sort of like a reveal for us. You could do that same or similar thing with moments later. A gunshot roared out. And for a moment, we don't know that somebody hasn't been injured by this thing. And it's not until we see he's pointing it at the heavens that we understand, oh, this is to end this violence rather than to perpetuate it. Or it's to end this violence in a way that doesn't result in the loss of life or further injury. It's to just stop everything in its tracks. So you're doing a good job with that. And I think you can just go a little further with building those suspense moments, having this moments of suspension. So like with this in one hand and this in the other, pointed at the heavens, was grandfather. All told, I think in your performance, you're doing a good job. You can slow down a little bit, let the images be a little bit more separate from each other. And I think that that will help a fair amount. Now, technically speaking, there's a fair amount that we can do here that will also improve things in a general sense. The first of which is it sounds as though you're quite close to the microphone. I don't hear egregious plosives, but I do hear moments where it's questionable whether the mic's getting popped or if the compression is just making plosive consonants really prominent. The other thing that is happening is there's quite a bit of resonance going on in terms of your microphone, and we can help that out with a bit of EQ. What I mean by resonance specifically is there's a fair amount of both by virtue of the space you're recording in, maybe a little bit of the compression, maybe that you're very close to the microphone. Space, compression, microphone, and distance to the microphone all will contribute to really thickening up lower frequencies in your performance. So what that does is it just makes it really boomy and muddy. There's lots of words that you could use, but if we play this a little bit, this EQ will show us the distribution of frequencies a little bit.
Unable to
So we see as you're speaking, there's quite a bit happening, and there's quite a bit below 100 hertz going
contain
on.
the anger welling within him, Caleb leaped forward.
So what we'll do is, if you don't already have this, you'll definitely want a high pass filter. I'll put that at around 75 or 80 hertz to start with, and we'll see what that does.
Unable to contain the anger welling within him.
So that doesn't do a ton, but I do hear a little bit less of the low end. The next thing that we'll do is take this band, and we're going to do the classic old hunt for resonance trick. If for those of you who haven't seen this before, what you do is you boost a band of EQ. EQ, for those of us who don't know, it allows you to either boost or attenuate or turn up the volume or turn down the volume on specific frequencies of sound. And the way we're using this right now is the way sound waves work in recording spaces. Lower frequency sounds in Mateus's booth here are bouncing back and forth and building on top of each other, which makes it sound really big and bassy and all that jazz. And so we're going to try and level those out a little bit in order to help it sound a bit more natural and a little bit cleaner. So what this trick does is I turn up a band by several dB, then I make it really thin by turning up the Q or the width, and then I'm just going to drag it back and forth looking for resonances. Those will sound kind of like a bell ringing or just out of place sounds. So let's listen and I'll see if we can find a couple.
Caleb leaped forward, reaching Benjamin in less than 5 steps. Bringing his fist squarely into the center of Benjamin's.
So you can hear there how it sounds like we're in a giant tube almost, where it's like this a little bit. So that would be a resonant frequency a bit.
Bringing his fist squarely into the.
So what we're going to do now that we've found that is lower the band to be negative or minus 4 dB. Then we'll widen it out a bit.
Bringing his fist squarely into the center of Benjamin.
So it sounds a little bit thin right now, but we're going to see if we can find one more. And it looks like there may be one right there-ish.
Bringing his fist squarely into the center of Benjamin's face. The distinctive sound of broken bone was the first that seemed to break the silence.
We're just going to do an A-B comparison. I'll click this little green button to turn it on and off, and we'll just listen to A-B for little phrases. Let me put on the loop here.
Bringing his fist squarely into the center of Benjamin's face, the distinctive sound of broken bone was the first that seemed to break the silence. Bringing his fist squarely into the center of Benjamin's face, the distinctive sound of broken bone was the first that seemed to break the silence.
So it's a really subtle thing, and you can do this like frequency hunting if you want to be really, really specific. Or for you, Mateus, what we could do as an easier option, depending on your facility and comfort with this, you can take a band like this and just make it fairly wide in the low end. And what that'll do is act as sort of just like a general subtractor. and will help to even stuff out. So rather than having a couple little surgical dips, you can just have one wide one, either in a band or in a shelf type situation, for those of you who know what that is.
Bringing his fist squarely into the center of Benjamin's face, the distinctive sound of broken bone was the first that seemed to break the silence.
So a super subtle thing that's just going to help to make your sound a little bit cleaner. I wouldn't necessarily take those numbers exactly, but I would recommend fiddling around with or reaching out to someone to help you design an EQ for you and your space and your microphone, et cetera, et cetera. Let's listen to a little bit more and I'll see if I can hear any other technical things.
The savageness of the blow propelled his enemy backward over the pew. With women screaming and blood streaming from Benjamin's face, Caleb began pounding Benjamin's head into the solid oak floorboards. Moments later,
this is something, we're going to move back to performance real quickly, and this will be my last note for you. This is something I struggle with a lot, but having variety, pitch variety, I tend to be a pretty chill, monotone guy in general, and it's hard for me to have a lot of pitch variety. And what pitch variety means specifically is, rather than having everything be in this sort of tone because it's a very serious fight sequence, having a moment where it goes up and then comes back down and then comes back to the middle and then goes back down and then comes up again. It creates auditory interest, which helps to pull apart the images even more. So rather than, or in addition to, pacing things, letting images be a little bit more discrete, you can lift things with tone and bring it back. And I would challenge you and everybody out there to go further with that than you feel is comfortable, speaking from personal experience. Really go high, not to Mickey Mouse high, but you want to go high and go low in moments where it feels maybe appropriate, and allow yourself to experience and explore that range. And then play it back and evaluate objectively, hey, does this sound like I'm a crazy person, cartoon character from something, or does it sound actually kind of fine? And for myself, 9 times out of 10, when I'm like, geez, I feel like an idiot talking like this in order to make it seem a little bit more interesting, I'll play it back and it sounds fine, if not really, really interesting. It may not be right for all projects. It may not even be right for this project, but give it a try just to expand that range a little bit, because it's a really, really useful thing that can just bring more nuance and color to your performances overall. Thanks for sending this in, my friend. Really, really great work. And I hope those tips are helpful for you and everybody else out there. And small little plug for those who are interested. Later on this summer, we'll be releasing a coaching app, as well as, I hope, some courses on my website. So if that's of interest, let me know. You can go over to my website and sign up for the newsletter, and I'll try to keep you posted here as well. But anyway, until the next one of these, be well, everybody, and I'll see you there. Toodles.